Fauna,
Yes, Naima?
come, join me as I tell you about Coma.
Okay.
Now, all of Vod is owned by Jael, but the place where he resides, works, and plays is in Coma. It is a series of tunnels dug underneath the entirety of Vod, so that at any and every moment while you travel on Vod, you are standing on top of Coma. Now, aside from the many tunnels, there are two large rooms. One room is the main area, where Jael spends most of his time. You will find that room void of most everything, except for, of course, Jael, and the table at which he stands. On that table is a three-dimensional map of Vod, so perfect that every creature, landform, cloud, and even the breeze mimics the actions of its counterpart on Vod. Everything that is said or done above on Vod is mirrored on the table below in Coma. It is Jael's source of entertainment, and you can find him in that room now, circling the table and watching his creations intently.
That sounds... Why does he have to circle it?
Well, it's a rather large table, Fauna.
But it sounds creepy when you say it.
Do you enjoy being watched, Fauna?
No.
Because we may very well be being watched right now. And if at any moment Jael wishes to end your lessons and start your journey, you could just pick up your replica on the table in Coma and place it anywhere.
He can do that?
Yes. The inhabitants call it Nolo Jael.
Doesn't that mean Hand of Jael?
That's what it means, because that's what it is.
So a giant hand?
No, Fauna. A giant hand will grab and carry your replica. But on Vod, it looks more like you are being absorbed by the air around you, and then spat out into your new location, where you must quickly adapt or die.
Well, why does he do this?
Well, for one, you must know that he only does this to the new inhabitants. The 10 original creations have never been uprooted or displaced.
And for two?
The new inhabitants are intruders. They are not his creations. And so to ensure that they are properly assimilated, Jael does this to test their mental and physical fortitude. In other words, they must earn their place in Vod. Now for the second room in Coma. It is the place where Jael goes to create. In this room, the walls are covered with diagrams of Jael's failed, successful, and potential future creations. In the center of the room is a workbench, similar in size to the table in the other room. Underneath it are the shelves where Jael keeps his tools. Tools made for peeling, tools made for chopping, tools made for cutting, slicing, removing, aligning, and attaching. This is the bench where all the original inhabitants were created, as well as being where the newer inhabitants are assimilated with an upgrade.
Why did you say it like that?
Like what?
With a pause.
Because, Fauna, some upgrades are better than others.
Like your wings?
And my teeth.
And like the skin on the things that killed my community?
Yes, Fauna. Some upgrades have their downs. Now, for the final thing of note in that room. It is a door, and behind that door is the breath of many discarded beings.
Breath? Shh.
Now, the body can die, and the mind can be silenced, but the breath can go on forever. But without a body or a mind to fill, the breath is empty, because it is without a purpose, since its only purpose is to give life. But behind that door, it can only exist. So imagine having a purpose, being called towards your purpose, but being forced into an eternity without ever being allowed to fulfill it. Endless emptiness. You best believe, Fauna, if your breath ends up behind that door, you did something very wrong with your life. Finally, it should be noted that Coma is not on any map, nor is there a place for it on the table. So if you incur the wrath of Hael, and he sends me to collect you, you can either accept your fate and spend eternity behind the door, or you can go hide in Coma, where you are quite literally wiped off the face of the map. I will of course still seek you, but without eyes on your replica, it will be much harder to find you. And if you can survive for 3 days and 3 nights without being found, on the 4th day, you make your way to the room with the table, and there, Hael will not only let you live, but he will also gift you your replica. Now this gift is more than just an object. It is your freedom. You are now free to create your own adventures, never again to be taken by Nolo Hael, never again to be bound by the map. You see, Fana, the free can travel through dimensions. And if they wish, they could find a new home in one of them, or many of them.
Being free sounds like best.
I know.
Why didn't you pick that path?
I've never incurred the wrath of Hael.
That's the only way?
Yes.
Have you ever tried to incur the wrath of Hael?
No, silly. I have no desire to end up behind the door.
So, you're afraid.
Off to bed.
I thought you hated weak things.
Now, Fauna.
Sweet dreams, Naima.